Okay, it is Thursday. I have no idea what date, the 15th. I can do it, of July. Let's see if it worked. It did work. So happy to have Elizabeth Reeve with me, fellow KonMari consultant, but she also has so many other titles that I won't be able to remember today, so I'll just turn it over to you, and she will talk to us about love hunger, discovering the link between self-love and healthy body weight. And it is not an accident that I am right here listening to you. I am so looking forward to it, Elizabeth. So it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to speak to your people. And hi, everyone. I am Elizabeth Reed. I am a certified professional coach and a KonMari consultant. I was one of the first 30 certified consultants outside of Japan. And as I was helping people with their tidying, almost every single one of my clients wanted help with weight loss because they had clothes that sparked joy in their closet that they couldn't wear. And I had the same thing for myself. I even kept these little size 6 pants. They looked like doll clothes. When I was doing my tidying, they sparked joy. I wasn't letting them go. And I was so happy myself to find a process and a program that worked for weight loss. So once I lost 50 pounds myself and I could wear those tiny pants, I was very happy to be able to share this with friends, family, and clients.
That sounds amazing, Elizabeth. I'm just going to dot in there that we actually met in 2018 in San Francisco. And when I saw your photo, I think a couple of months ago, or maybe more, I was like, what? What did she do? I want to do that too.
Yes, so I was 50 pounds heavier in that picture. And I'll tell you, that picture was one of my, or at that event when I had a picture made with Marie Kondo. And of course, she's so tiny that we all look like Amazon people next to her, but she's so tiny. And here I was feeling so like an elephant next to this little tiny lady. And it brought home to me that I had some work to do on my health. And I'm just elated now that I have made progress in this area. So I'm happy to share. So what we're going to talk about today is love hunger, because this group is about body awareness, body consciousness, yes, and really embodying your body. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to health and weight loss, body image, but I'm zeroing in on self-love and especially loving your body as an essential ingredient to achieving that healthy weight that you're longing for. I do want to say a little disclaimer that this is not fat shaming anyone. That if you have a body weight that you're happy about and comfortable with, great. But we knew even from COVID, people who were obese had less of a chance of surviving that catastrophic illness. So there are some health consequences that come with obesity, and I'm delighted to be able to help people improve their health so that they can live vibrant, optimal lives. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen that has a presentation. So
sounds great, Elizabeth. Just while you're sharing, we have some people that are following us on Facebook. And if you want to ask any questions, just please feel free to dot them in the chat box, and I will convey them to Elizabeth for you. If you want to come on Zoom, you can totally have your camera off, but I know Elizabeth is going to ask you some questions. So if you want to participate more directly, please come on Zoom and feel free to have your camera off if you want. That was it. Elizabeth, over to you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm using Minty for this presentation, and up at the top, it says, use this code. You can do that now, but there's nothing going on with that right now. I'll let you know when to do that. So I'd like to start with this quote from Mother Teresa. People everywhere are the same. They are all people to be loved. They are all hungry for love. The world today is hungry, not only for bread, but hungry for love, hungry to be wanted, hungry to be loved. what I find over and over is there's more to the picture than just food, that we actually long to be loved. So anytime we're leading change, and let's see, I'm trying to advance this. Go to the next one. All right, Luca, why is it not going? Just a moment.
Okay, you can probably, if you want, you have to click with your cursor. Is it called a cursor? You have to click with your cursor on the slide, and then you can move it forward.
It's not going. Okay, so I'm just going to escape out of there to get to the next one this way. All right, so can you see this one?
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, so when you're experiencing any kind of transformation, there are three things that need to be engaged, or it's important to engage. One is your head. And so for weight loss, you can have this beautiful vision of what you're trying to create in your life. And you do that with your head, with your thinking of what you long for in your mind, creating this beautiful vision. And then it's important to engage your heart. How passionate are you about this beautiful vision that you've imagined? And also you need your hands involved, of what you're actually putting in your mouth, how much you're moving. So having head, heart, and hands involved in anything you're trying to create, and then specifically we're talking here about weight loss, is very important. But you see there's this big gaping hole in the middle. And that hole is, in my opinion and my experience with clients, self-love. So when a client knows what to do, they have a beautiful vision of what they're trying to create, they have a deep longing for it, and they have all of the information about what to do with their hands, and they're still self-sabotaging. That's where that missing piece of unconditional self-love comes into play. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of clients I've worked with. I've changed their names and some other details to make it anonymous for them. And then we have an activity, and then we'll wrap it up. So the first client I'd like to tell you her story is Amy. Amy came to me because she wanted to lose weight so she could do fertility treatments. She needed to lose 30 pounds, which I believe is 13 kilos, if I Googled it correctly.
Yes.
She needed to lose this 30 pounds before her doctor would give her the green light for her treatment so that she could get pregnant. So she did all the things. She had the vision, she was passionate about it, and she did all the things with her hands, and she was engaged. She lost the 30 pounds within 3 months. She got the green light. She did several rounds of the fertility treatments, and it didn't work. So she came back to me. She had gained back all of the weight and a little bit more, and she was re-encouraged and reinvigorated. She was disappointed and angry and frustrated that she hadn't conceived a child, but she was putting that behind her, and she was ready to move on to create health. She had some other goals besides just getting pregnant. Like one of hers was being able to tie her shoes without running out of being not able to breathe. She also had some other goals that she was trying to create besides the pregnancy. Oh, and I see somebody in the waiting room. Okay. So yeah, so she tried to do the program again, and I'm sad to say, over a year, gained and lost the same 5 pounds. She just wasn't making progress. And after some coaching and really being vulnerable on her part, she was holding on to this anger with her body. She was angry at her own body and frustrated and disappointed that she had been let down by her body, that her body had not created this baby that she longed for. She really longed to be a mom. And once she could deal with that anger and frustration and disappointment and fill her heart with self-love for her body, she was able to move on with her weight loss. Another example, Susan. Susan came to me with very specific health goals she was trying to create, and she was all excited about getting back to her fit, healthy, sexy self. And she lost a few pounds and she stalled out. So after some coaching, it bubbled up through vulnerability on her part that she had, the last time she had had a fit, sexy, healthy body, she had had an affair with a man who was not her husband. At that time, she was getting some sexual attention from a man that was not her husband. Her husband wasn't giving her the attention she longed for. And she had an affair, which resulted in her husband finding out about it, divorcing her, and leaving her in poverty for a few years until she got herself back on her feet. So in her case, she was very angry, frustrated, and disappointed, not so much in her body, but in herself, that she had let this happen, or she had done these things. And she was afraid that if she, at a kind of a deep level, that if she had that fit, sexy, healthy body again, that something bad might happen. But once we were able to replace that with unconditional love and acceptance for herself, she was able to move on toward her health goal. And finally, Melissa. So Melissa had a different situation. She had been obese her entire adult life. And when it came, again, she had these dreams. She knew what she wanted to create. She had the way to do it. She had the passion for it. But underneath it all was this fear that went back to her childhood. Her parents died in an automobile accident when she was young. And so life for Melissa was a dangerous place. And there's dangers everywhere, and not just car accidents, but everything that could possibly happen. She had a worst case scenario kind of attitude that was causing her lots of stress and anxiety. So this hypervigilance was making her want to eat. And I think especially during this last year of COVID, there's been a lot of that stress of as we were talking about before we got started, just the fear of getting the disease and seeing people we love become ill or pass away, and lots of danger, physical danger. And there's other dangers in life, and seeing those and being afraid, and it was keeping her snacking is what was going on. So once she had unconditional love and acceptance for her life and really embracing her life as it was, she was able to move past that and get progress toward her health goal and her weight loss goal. So I'd like to ask you to pull out your device, or you can flip over to your browser and go to www.menti.com and use the code at the top of your screen and type in something that could be holding you back from unconditional love and acceptance of either your body, yourself, or your life. And I'm going to do it too. So are there any questions about how to do that, or let me know if you get stuck? So you just go to www.menti.com.
I am getting there.
Okay.
Could be holding.
It should say join a presentation. You just type in that code. It's 69519278. And anything that you type on here is going to show up on the screen. So it's anonymous, but everyone will see it. So if you have something that identifies you and you don't want it to identify yourself, just be aware of that. Let's see.
And if you're listening on Facebook and you want to share, you can also send me a private message, and I'll read it out aloud anonymously, of course.
Okay, so I'll just get started here reading a few of these that I'm seeing now. Things that are holding us back from feeling that unconditional love and acceptance of our own bodies, ourselves, our lives. Feeling I should have done more in my life. I'm too short. It's not how I want it to look. There's too much daily stress at home. Wait a second, go back. There's too much daily stress at home. So prioritizing other people. So putting self-care at the top of the list of priority. I'm lonely. I have big hips. Were there any others?
No, Elizabeth, but one of my girlfriends, she comes to mind, and she wrote a message to me. She was like, "Who rubbed my legs?" You know, when you get, I'm going towards 50, and she was like, you know, I looked down at my legs, and like, who took my legs? These are not my legs. And you know, your hands change, and everything changes. Eckhart Tolle says how big an impact it has on women, that, you know, it's not, we're supposed to just look great and look young. I know it's a little maybe off topic, but has also to do with what you're saying about self-love. That is difficult because the ideal image is not that, oh, you're so wise, or, you know, you're difficult.
Yes, exactly. So there are all these things I could, if I were going to just type out, I could tell you about 50 things that are wrong with my body, my life, and myself. But I just put a couple in the minty. But you know, I have gray hair in my eyebrows, and my feet are way too big for my height. I mean, why size 9 shoes, and I'm short. So what the heck? So all of these things make it difficult for us to give ourselves that unconditional love and acceptance, whether it's regrets about the past, it could be just physical defects. So let's go through.
Elizabeth, one more comment, because I work a lot with performers and artists, and there's also like a reverse discrimination, because if women see other women that are, you know, that have like a very skinny body, they might feel, oh, they look really good. But what my experience with clients and artists is that they might, you know, they might want bigger breasts, or they think they're too skinny, or that they're skinny and the wrong. So I don't think there's a lot of women. I don't think I've ever, and I've had a lot come through my vocal coaching studio, that said, oh, you know, I'm not happy, but I'm content with my body. Don't think it ever happened, ever.
No. Yes.
Caroline is like, no, me neither. It's true. It's true. I don't think I've ever heard a woman say that she's happy. Is like, you know, it's like, that's not even possible, but even just content with her body. And it's, you're really making me aware how important it is.
Yeah, well, exactly. And even my daughter, I could use my daughter Sarah as an example. She's gorgeous. My daughter Sarah, I mean, I'm just going to pat myself on the back here for creating a beautiful young lady. She's 27. She looks like a model. She did some modeling in the past, and she's not that content because there's two things. Men, she gets a lot of unwanted sexual attention from men. And then with women, she doesn't have very many female friends because people are intimidated and alienated by her. And I'll tell you, she doesn't do anything for this beauty. She does not work at it. But she's just a gorgeous girl. And it's one of those don't hate me because I'm beautiful things, where she feels like if I just weren't so stunning, then maybe I'd have more friends and more real relationships with men that just aren't after my body. So yeah, even somebody with this amazing, like everybody might want that kind of body, has some issues with self-love. So let's go back to our story about Amy, and she wanted to have a baby and her body let her down. So for her, the cure, these are the cures for accepting your body. Two things. Fill your heart with profound gratitude for your body. I don't know if you remember the Smurfs, those little blue animated characters. They had a song called, it was Goodness Makes the Badness Go Away. I know it's kind of silly, but it's so true that if your heart is full of gratitude, then all of the anger, disappointment, and frustration doesn't have room to live in your heart. And then embrace your body as an imperfect machine, because it's a machine, it's a biochemical, electrochemical machine that's imperfect, and love it anyway.
Can you see my screen, Elizabeth?
No, I don't see your screen. I just, yeah, let me see.
Hold on.
Oh, now I do. Yes. What do you have?
I have the Smurfs.
Oh, you have the Smurfs.
Yes,
Yes.
it's one of my most treasured sentimental items because I love Smurfs, and I don't know, I'll never get rid of this. And what did you say about Smurfs? Because I just had to go pick him up.
Oh, they had a song, Goodness Makes the Badness Go Away. I don't know if you remember. It was Goodness Makes the Badness, and it was so. It's about filling your heart with love and gratitude, and the fear, disappointment, and anger with your body it doesn't have room to live there. So it's embracing your body as an imperfect machine and loving it anyway. And this takes a constant forgiveness of our body, because there's always new things that could, ways that it can disappoint us. We get sick, we get injured, those kinds of things. Unconditional love and acceptance of yourself, in that sense, offering yourself constant grace and forgiveness, not just for your body being imperfect, but for your behavior, for your thoughts, letting go of judgment of yourself, and really just continually giving yourself that grace. So in our case of Susan, who had had an extramarital affair, she was angry, frustrated, disappointed in herself. Just giving yourself grace and forgiveness over and over and over. And it might take multiple times a day. It doesn't mean that you agree with the things that happened. It means that you're not going to dwell on it, and you're not going to beat yourself up with it. And then acknowledge your human imperfections, because I'm hoping that you're human. I'm guessing that you're human, and embracing that and loving yourself anyway. And filling your heart.
There's a question from the private chat, and the question is, so how do you do it, like practically? Do you have a mantra? Do you do a meditation, or do you repeat a phrase? Or like practically, how do you get there?
Yeah, so I'm a positive intelligence mental fitness coach, and I recommend positive.
Can you say that slowly? You are
positive. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. Positive intelligence mental fitness. So positive PQ is what the shorthand. And with PQ, we do exercises they're like mini meditations. So I would say meditate. If you wanted a shorthand for what I recommend, meditating on the thing that you're trying to create. So breathing in love, breathing out fear, breathing in forgiveness, breathing out regret, and just really filling your heart and mind with those positive messages. That's what I do. Yeah. Do you have any other suggestions, Luca, that you'd like to recommend before we go on?
No, I just I'm stunned about the positive intelligence. That's really
yeah,
nice.
PQ. Yes. Okay, so let's go on. So we have unconditional love and acceptance of your body, which takes effort. I mean, it's something that's not natural to us, because we want to find what's wrong, but it's fully loving and accepting. Then we have, which that was this one, being full of profound gratitude for your body, giving yourself constant grace and forgiveness was the second one. And then unconditional love and acceptance of your life. And you remember the story of Michelle. Her parents had died, and she saw life as a scary, threatening, dangerous place. And the way to shift that is to shift your perspective from things happening to you to everything happens for you. And also the perspective that every situation in life can be converted into a gift and opportunity. And that also is work. It's work to take something that was unwelcome, uninvited, that everyone would say it's not something they'd want in their life, and really accept it, first of all, and then look for the gift or create a gift out of it. And I could do a whole 4-day workshop on how to create gifts or how to find gifts in situations. We can find a gift of knowledge, a gift of power, a gift of inspiration. I'm almost out of time, so we're not going to go into all the details of what the gifts and opportunities could be. But
don't worry about it, Elizabeth. I think I'm definitely gonna pull some people together, because performers, and artists, and as you say, clients, just talked about it yesterday, that a lot of times when we do come into people's homes, it's like the first who they think they are is, I'm a 46, and yes, I have a couple of 44 dresses or whatever in my closet, and then at the end it's like, okay, I'm actually a 48. I would love to do something to go back to being a 46, but I am not, and it's okay that you're there. And it goes so well hand in hand, Elizabeth, with the body language, because what we have been taught ever since we were kids is like, stand up straight, look at your dress, get your, fix your hair. If you were scared, or if you were shy and you were afraid of speaking to strangers, or just speak, it wasn't like, don't worry about it. Okay, take your time. It's natural. If you meet someone that you can feel scared or that you don't want to talk, you're told to be in a certain way. And how can you love yourself? How can you accept yourself if you're being, not constantly, but very often, um, told that you're not okay?
yes.
And if I heard you right, then we eat, right, to cover that up, because we're lonely, or because we deserve it after a long day. That's my problem. Is I come home from work very late, very tired, and if I could avoid that evening snack, that is sometimes like, oh, you really deserve it because you had a long day, which is, it's damaging my body after it already had a long day. You said something when we spoke, that your body, because so the body language is kind of like outside, right? All the reactions that we've been studying. But what you said is that the body from inside kind of lies to you, because it tells you that you need. I would love to you just to address that for a couple of minutes, because I think that's really important.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so let me go on to the last slide, and then because this ties into what you're asking about. And going back to that beginning quote from Mother Teresa, that we're all hungry for love. We're all hungry for love. And one of the ways that we received love as children was our mom made us snacks. At least I know my mom did. Most of my clients, grandma, someone in their lives provided a food as a way to smooth over rough emotions. And so when we talk about being hungry for love, when I say love, I'm talking about hungry for that unconditional acceptance. And we associate that with mom and grandma and these beautiful meals or snacks or comfort foods they provided, all the cheesy casserole, macaroni, ice cream, cookie things, all those delicious foods that make us feel loved and make us feel good. It's soothing. It actually does. MRI studies have shown that by having a snack, it does engage some parts of your brain that make you feel better. And that's why we do it. The same with alcohol. We feel better when we have a drink or have a snack, but what we're doing to our bodies, the long-term damage, also has consequences. So just acknowledging what you're really hungry for. Your body says it's hungry for those cookies or casseroles or snacks or things that make us, a glass of wine. I see a lot of moms out there, they say, mommy needs wine. It's it's not really the wine that we need. It's not the snacks or the sugar. Sugar, fat, and salt together in combination are addictive. But those are not what we really deep down are hungry for. We're hungry for that love. And so once you're filled in your heart and mind with unconditional love and gratitude for your body, yourself, for your life, you won't need that comfort. You won't need to be soothed over rough emotions because you'll have the equipping and the tools to be able to deal with situations when they come up.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Would you, I'm very curious about the first slide. If you, I want to ask you a couple of questions because I saw a connection between that slide and the centers. I don't know if you watched one of the lives where I talk about the centers. I was
This one?
a Armenian thinker. Yes, yes, exactly. Who's called Gurdjieff or Gurdjieff. It depends on how you pronounce it. And he talks about how human beings have different centers that work in a different way. So he talks about an intellectual center, and I think it's actually what you have on the slide. It could be corresponding. The intellectual center thinks and analyzes and compares stuff, and it takes like that rational decision. I want to go on a diet, and just as a reminder, die, the first three letters is not recommendable. So, and then you have the emotional center, which is that center that kind of let's say it takes you away because it's like it wants to feel good. And just like you said, I'm like amen to that, because when I went to see my grandma, first thing she would do, she would go down to a little how do you say, like a little candy thing, what's it called, like a jar, candy jar.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she would open it. I would be so happy because I knew when I came down to her, I would get that, and they were so good. And that's the emotional center. Then he talks about the instinctive center that governs all the functions that you don't govern, like when you sweat, your heartbeat. And that is probably what you're saying. That is the one that is lying to us, right? Like,
Yes.
because if the more sugar I eat, the more hamburgers I eat, it's never happy. It just wants more. And then there's the moving center. That is the one that, you know, it talks, it dances, and if they all agreed, it would be really easy to go on that diet. And then it lacks that thing in the middle that I totally love, with the hunger for love that we did not have.
Yes, I guess, yeah, this picture might be missing that intuitive, I think you said intuitive center.
Instinctive.
Instinctive, sorry, instinctive center. But yeah, so the movement would be the hands, you know, what your body is doing, what your mind is thinking, what your heart is feeling. All of those things are very important when you are trying to create change. I got this slide from the Change Intelligence, a different model, but Change Intelligence of how we lead change or transformation. And yeah, to me, all those things are important. But if that unconditional love for yourself, your body, and your life is missing, the change doesn't happen, unfortunately. Some people can create that change in the short term, but if you're so full of love for your life, you won't want anything unhealthy to pass your lips, and you won't want to do anything but exercise in a way that benefits your body, and you won't want to drink alcohol or use other substances.
Not even like really good chocolate, Elizabeth. I was with you until like you wouldn't want. And I think Caroline, can you talk, Caroline? Because then people, oh, hold on, I'll take the pin off Elizabeth, and we can. And I literally just put it in the fridge because I have like 80% chocolate here because I had 2 really long work days, so I had the 80% chocolate. But I just put it in the fridge because it's so hot in Italy. But I guess it all depends on the quantity. I think it's
Like
like
the
7 grams of chocolate that is actually healthy for you. Could that be?
Sure. Yeah, no, there's no poisonous food except actual poison. I mean, the food's okay. It's when we abuse it. And it's the same thing with alcohol. That we having a glass of wine is not detrimental. I've been sober though for about 5 years. And when I work with weight loss clients, one of the first things I ask them to do is put aside the alcohol during the weight loss phase. And some people are like, I can't put away. What? Can you say that again? And it is possible actually to have fun without alcohol.
Absolutely.
You can believe that it's alcohol is a depressant. It has some detrimental effects on certain organs in your body, your liver. It has some other, especially in excess, but even small amounts can be detrimental. Also, it lowers our inhibitions. So we're more likely to go eat a bag of chips or a whole bunch of chocolate. But yeah, everything in moderation is it's okay.
Caroline, did you want to ask something or say something? I saw you unmuted.
No, I was just going to say that I'm very bad.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Let's do like how do you say a case study. So let's take Lykke. So she comes home, and she kind of knows that it's going to be, it's going to be a fight between her intellectual center and her emotional center. And so the thing is with the centers, Elizabeth, the emotional and instinctive centers are faster. They react faster, because if not, like the whole human population would be dead in 3 days. Because let's say you have a truck coming, or something is about to hit you in the head, or you're about to fall over, your instinct emotional center is like, there's danger, and you react. You can't be like, oh, I think there's a truck coming at me, I better get out of the way, because you would just be gone. So it's so much faster, and that's why it's so difficult to control. So I need to like throw a ball in the future, be like, okay, remember, when you come home, you do not want to go to the fridge. So what do? I sit down, I do the mantra. What would you suggest? Coach me, please.
Yeah, sure. So so for what a good coach would ask you is, what do you want to do? However, for the sake of this, since you kind of asked me, well, and see, so that's where we would try to get at what you're really longing for. You said you long for the chocolate, but what is it that you really want?
Relax.
Okay, so you really want to relax. So what are some other ways that you could relax that are not detrimental to your body?
Just go sleep. Like, just do not go to the fridge, and just go brush your teeth and go get that beauty sleep.
Okay. All right. You mentioned one of my favorite tips for my clients is the toothbrush is the magic wand of weight loss. So if you're hungry, or you think you like mouth hunger, but you're not really, you don't need food. If you go brush your teeth, you have that fresh, clean feeling. You won't want a snack. But okay, so how likely would you be to do that, to walk in the door and just go straight to bed?
We're live streaming, okay, but I'm going to be totally honest, like 0.
Okay.
All
right.
So, okay, I'll give myself a 3% chance. Like,
yeah, so it's an idea, and it sounds like it's not a workable solution for you. So let's just brainstorm, throw out some other ideas. Here, let me give you a thought starter for your other ideas. The taste is one sensation. What are some other senses that you could engage that would be satisfying?
Oh, I like to, this is not publicity, but I love Yankee candles. So all the flavors almost. So I like them a lot especially in the winter, during the winter. And something hot, like a tea or something. I would love that, like a herbal tea. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's working. I knew this was gonna, thank you, Elizabeth. Yes.
Okay, so now you've engaged the sense of smell and the sense of taste within a way that's not detrimental. And light. So with the candle is some beautiful lighting for your space. Mm-hmm. What else? What else comes to mind?
Vikings. The
Viking?
Netflix series, yes, just sit down and watch Vikings. It's like,
Okay, so watching some kind of entertainment.
yes. Or Jim
Mhm.
Carrey, that really makes me smile and laugh. Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, so something that's in some kind of entertainment, whether it's a comedian or a funny show or some Vikings with their big muscles or whatever it is that you whatever it is that you would like.
Problems like Vikings, if they have problems, they fight their way out of it, right? They're like,
Okay, so you have created this beautiful idea of a solution. And so if you were my client, we would first talk about whether you're likely to do that. And then if you were, elevating this to a ritual. So when I come home at night, my ritual is I light a beautiful candle that smells lovely. Maybe you do some entertainment, whatever kind of entertainment you like, maybe music, or maybe it's a show. And there was something else, I just forgot what you said. Oh, tea.
herbal, yes, I have tons of herbal teas. Love them.
Pour yourself a beautiful herbal tea that you really love. And what would be something you might do while you're enjoying your candle and your tea? Like relax in a chair, lay on the couch, dance around your living room.
I could go to the roof, like we get some. I have a flat roof. It's really beautiful in the night because you can see the stars and stuff. Of course, it's not winter. Yes, that would be something different. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Okay, so that's just an example of how you see. Remember, these are just engaging your habits and making it a ritual, but filling your heart with that self-love and loving your body so much that you want to do this new ritual is the first step, in my mind.
Yeah, but I can feel it. I can definitely feel like okay, and I mean I did all Tony Robbins is like wealth and health, and I did the detox and the we talks and the B-talks, and I just stopped. You know, the green drink thing. I just stopped doing diets whatsoever because it did not make sense anymore. I just try to eat healthy. Okay. Anyone has any questions? If you're following on Facebook, or you can dot it in the chat box. I'm actually able to see it live today, which is really good. Do you have any questions, Caroline?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you've set up your ritual and your better half or other half or your half is sitting there as like, let's have some chocolate. How do you deal with that one? Because or
okay,
actually,
you just do like the Vikings. You punch him in the face.
It's usually my idea, to be fair, and then I need him to say no, but he goes, oh yeah, okay. So what you've just described is our ritual with candles and TV and drinks, but then we add the chocolate to it as well.
Well, so if you feel that something in your ritual is taking you away from your health goals, then this is where that unconditional love and acceptance of yourself, because I've seen it over and over that the partner, so like your husband or your other half, wants to actually feels angry and frustrated with you and disappointed that you won't do their thing anymore. And that's where if you are full of love and acceptance in yourself, you don't need their love and acceptance. So you can be strong and assertive for yourself and say, thank you, I don't want any. And if they're angry, frustrated, disappointed with you, then they have to deal with those emotions on their own, because as long as you say it in a loving way. Now, if you say you're a big jerk and I don't like it when you do this to me, that could put tension in your relationship that's on you. But if you're being strong and assertive for yourself and really being that Wonder Woman persona, hands on hips and open heart, and thank you, but I don't want any. I mean,
Yeah.
but it starts with that self-love. That's really, I just can think of so many other examples. I only gave 3 and I went way over my time, and I hope that's okay. I can think of so many other examples. Like I had a client who, her husband is a chef, and he's always trying out new recipes, and he wants her to try them. And if she won't try them, he gets angry. Sorry, that's my phone. So, it's
He can send them over to Italy if he wants.
right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Sorry, honey, but I love you, and I'm not having that right now because I have this health goal.
So is that where we confuse willpower with self-love?
I think so. Willpower will only take you so far, and self-discipline doesn't take you very far. That's a train with a short track.
Yeah.
People trying to kind of judge themselves into, beating themselves into doing certain behaviors. You run out of steam pretty quickly. But if it's because you love yourself, you love your body, you love your life so much that you want vibrant health for the long term, then it's easier to say, I just really don't want that. It's not that I can't have it. It's not that I wish I could have it and I'm using my willpower. It's that I really don't want it because it's taking me away from my health goal. It's a paradigm shift for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's really interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people come to me with wanting a cheat day. They're like, I can do everything you told me 6 days a week, but I want one day where I can do whatever I want. And I say, okay, well, what I want for you is that you want to do this every single day because it's good for you.
Yeah.
And all those cheap treaty things, ice cream and cookies and the snacks, you don't want those because those are not good for you, the body that you're given, this beautiful, amazing body.
But it's also difficult, Elizabeth, because we're bombarded with, commercials and images that are telling us that we will feel good when we have eaten this or when we have been drinking that.
Yes, this glass of wine.
Constantly. I totally love it, Carol.
Right. I mean, it's ingrained. It's a paradigm shift. It takes some really intentional thought and focus. And I'm not saying it's easy because you're right. I mean, it's how we celebrate.
How did you start, Elizabeth? Can I ask? I know you said you went into clients' homes, but with you, if you don't mind sharing.
How did I start? Which part?
I saw you in San Francisco. What was the determining factor for you being, no, this is not who I want to be anymore?
Well, yeah, it was definitely that seeing those pictures of me especially with Marie Kondo, but I had been trying, which is something I didn't share. I had been trying for 2 years to lose weight, and I hadn't made much progress. The highest I got was 189 pounds, which I don't know what that is in kilograms, but
probably 90 or something. I think it's more or less.
It's a lot. And I had gotten down to 185, so I had lost 4 pounds, and I just didn't have a way. So I felt like I had, the head, heart, and hands, I had the thought and the vision, and I had a really strong passion. I wanted to create health, like a healthy, fit body, but I didn't have a way. And so as soon as I saw one of my friends lose 40 pounds and just looked amazing, I called her. I said, okay, what are you doing? And she said, I did this program, I'm coaching it, do you want to try it? I tried it, I was successful, and that's why I'm so excited to be able to offer it, because it works. But in my case, my boyfriend didn't want me to lose weight. Alan, my very handsome, wonderful boyfriend who I love, he met me at a heavier weight and he liked it. And so I had to use, Caroline, I had to use that strong assertiveness to say, I'm sorry that you don't like this. I mean, I feel bad for you that you would prefer something else. And there are millions of other women that would really like you if you just can't tolerate me being slender, because this is what I want for myself.
Wow.
So that was a little bit of tension, but he came around, and actually 2 years later, he lost the weight. So he came on my program, he lost 50 pounds. He looks awesome, he's sexy, and he's older than I am. He's 67. So I want him to be around, and
Wow.
you see little old men, but you don't see big old men.
I was just about to say that, Elizabeth, that I lost my mom. She was very young. She was 51 when she passed away. And there's always kind of like, I think when you lose your mom that early, there's always this fear of you ending up the same way. I think it's just something, it's just, you can't do anything about it. And sometimes I'm like, if you if you can't do it for you, do it for them. I don't want my kids to have to, they have to take care of me when I'm, let's hope 70 or 80 or whatever, because I have, like you said, this, I'm not obese or anything, but of course those 7, 8, maybe 10 kilos, maybe a little more, if I have to be honest, they don't, it's not helping my health for sure. You could have pre-diabetes. I'm sure you know a lot more about it. So taking care of me, if I am honest about, if it's true that I love them so much that I wouldn't want them to have to spend their time worrying about me, taking care of me. I think about that a lot. So that could definitely, for me, be like, it could be a help also to think about that. And I love that he did it. Like Marie says, you have to tidy your own home before you can. And if you do, then people, they will come along because they see how happy you are and how healthy you feel, how good you feel about it.
Well, right. And we had gone on vacation. What happened with him was we went on a trip, and he couldn't keep up with me on a hike. And he was like, oh, this isn't good. Every 5 minutes he was needing to stop. And so he said, yeah, I need to do something so I can do. We have somebody in the waiting room.
Yes, I love it.
But yeah, but I'll tell you, I love that you're considering your loved ones. But what I found is, if that's our primary motivator, that we want to be healthy for someone else, that falls apart on the days that they push our buttons or they let us down, or they're acting like jerks, and who cares if
they never push my buttons, like never. Hi, Amy, welcome.
Hi, Amy. So I mean, it's good, but it's even better if you're doing it because you've fallen madly, deeply in love with your life, and you love your life, yourself, and your body so much that you want ultra health. Scientists are telling us now our generation could live to be 120. We have the medical technology to keep us alive, so we've got a long road to hope. I'm 57. So I have, I'm only halfway done.
Wow, that just opened up like a box in my mind. That's just like, well, that wasn't even there before you said that. It's just like, it kind of makes you like, what? 120, but if you're healthy and you're feeling good, that would be really exciting to see what's gonna happen.
Right, and we can still be strong and active even into our older years if we take care of our bodies when we're younger. And that's no judgment on someone who's unhealthy because of some disease. So don't mishear me. Our bodies are not perfect. That goes back to loving your body no matter what. Even if it has some issue that wasn't even your fault. I have asthma, and I used to get really mad about that. Like, I want to be a marathon runner, and I can't really run around the block without, ending up in the emergency room. So just letting go of all those frustration, fear, disappointment, anger that we have about our bodies, and offering ourselves that unconditional love and acceptance over and over.
Elizabeth, I would love, I don't know if I'm asking you too much. If I am, don't worry. Could we do like just a 2 minute, 3 minute practical exercise? Because I think that would be lovely, or meditation, or the phrases that you use, and then we will. Amy, I totally love the picture behind you. It reminds me of one of the slides for the centers. It's like there's like three people there, and they're right, Elizabeth, you said you had the three minds, and then they're kind of like discussing of it. Sorry for the link that I didn't see your
Oh,
comment.
that's
Sorry
okay.
about
No,
that.
I've been listening on Facebook all along.
Okay, do you have any questions, Amy, for Elizabeth?
I am really interested in hearing more about gifts, but we could save it for another discussion, especially because in our work, that's such a big issue with the clients, right? That they keep things that are given to them as gifts. You know, so I know you were talking about gifts in a different way, like seeing things that happen to you as gifts of opportunities, but it's just like everybody wants to hear what like Marie Kondo's take is on gifts and stuff, and just like the concept of gifts, like, and every application of it is like fascinating to me. You probably all agree, right?
Yes, well, I have a lot of things to say about gifts with my clients, KonMari clients, separate from weight loss. But people say, well, how does weight loss tie into KonMari? It's the same thing. It's just both. It's the same thing. It's a different process, but it's seeing what's right and loving what's right, what sparks joy, what you really want in your life, and letting go of everything else, instead of focusing on what's wrong. I have so many people saying they're purging, and I say, oh, purging is what's wrong. I don't like this thing. I'm going to get rid of it. KonMari is about, I love it and I'm going to keep it. So when, and I know all of us could probably speak to gifts, but since I'm the speaker today, I'm just going to keep talking. So I have seen this over and over. That's the main thing that doesn't spark joy that my clients want to keep. And what I say is, your grandmother is not in the object. You loved your grandmother, you adored her, you miss her, you grieve for her, but she is not in this object. Now, if you love the object, you keep it and display it and use it and make it a part of your life. But if it's just stuffed in the back of the drawer and you feel guilty about getting rid of it, then maybe it's not something you want to share your life with, if it doesn't spark joy. So but looking at the object as a manufactured object. I have my grandmother's silver water pitcher, and I thought it was rare and valuable. I actually took it to Antiques Roadshow, that TV show, and it's not worth anything. It's not worth anything. They made millions of them, the company. And I don't use it. And actually, I kind of hate it because you have to polish it. And it's really big. Yeah. So it's a big albatross of an object that I could let go of, because the object itself didn't spark joy. My grandmother sparked a lot of joy. So just knowing that this is an inanimate manufactured object, it does not contain the essence of grandma.
That's so true, Elizabeth. I just, Marie Kondo, Americans, I love her books, but I listened to a book. It's called, I just checked it. It's called the Minimalism Collection. And he talks about how wonderful it would be if you really know the person that you're giving something to, you can give them consumables. Like if they love to go hiking, give them that. If they love a good chocolate, do not give them that, and give them herbal tea. And just, I never thought about it like that. It's there's so many things that you can give someone if you really know them that they can use. And I actually work in the body language group. We had an interview situation like with sentimentals to read the body language. That's where it comes in right straight away. Sentimentals, my favorite category. So Lykke, she puts the hair behind her ear. And I had this object, and it's my son made it for me, and it's the Danish flag. But I'm like, and it's not as much I don't want to get rid of it. I mean, I don't I want to keep it because he gave it to me, but it does matter that it's a gift from him. And then one of the consultants was like, what do you like about it? It's the Danish flag, you know, it's the colors and I'm a Dane and blah, 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 all that nationalism. And then she was like, what do you not like about it? And I was like, oh my gosh, I hate this green plastic thing. It's hideous. You know, it's just, there's still a tag thing on the back of it. And I use it as like to hold books with. And now I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna bring it to a guy that does frames and stuff, and ask him if he can take it off. And it's gonna be beautiful. I want to do like a brass thing around it, and it's gonna be with me forever. But you know, I've done my festival a couple of times. I'm not scared to admit it, maybe more than a couple. Um, and I didn't think about it. And it was her question. She was like, what do you not like about it? And I hate plastic. So it makes sense. So it can also be a gift that you really treasure, but you know, part of it you do not like. And Caroline, if you want, you're here. You're getting your interview. So if you want to say something about gifts, just told we can jump off topic. And I think the gift to me is going to be herbal tea and Vikings and candles.
I just get lots of gifts of chocolate and wine because my friends know me very well, which doesn't, they're consumable, which is lovely. They don't clutter my house up for very long, but that doesn't help me in other areas, unfortunately. So yeah.
And I think it's also about, I don't know, the American culture, but in Denmark, like if you don't eat when you meet up with people, you know, that's like, what are you doing? We have to eat something. We can't just sit down and have a cup of tea, or it's just not, it's not even a possibility. Like that's just you know, that's just how it goes. And if you would invite people over and not have like too much food ready, let's call it too much food available, it wouldn't be, you know, I don't know if the trends are changing, but that was what it was like when I lived in Italy. Oh my gosh, it's like, you know, we have to have this and that and that. So it's also it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, I see that a lot with clients. They do okay at home, but when they go to these social occasions, especially at someone's home, but even at a restaurant, they feel obligated. I had one client, she said, well, I had to eat the thing that she made me. Okay, no, you didn't. You didn't. You could say no. You could say no. And she, another client, not that one, she took some food away. She said, I can't eat it. And the hostess said, well, take it for your husband. And she took it in the car. Her husband has diabetes. He's not supposed to eat those sugary things either. So she, on the way home, she ate it. So there's this sense of obligation where if we're really strong in ourselves and really loving our lives and loving our bodies and loving our health, we won't say yes to things that are bad for us, even under social pressure, even under peer pressure. You know, it may take some awkward times, and it's okay. It's okay. People will get used to us. Well, I would, Luca, I would do a visualization exercise, but I have a client at 4:10.
Yes, of course. It was
2 minutes.
so wonderful to have you, Elizabeth. Thank you for adding all this knowledge and just giving us ideas to how we can love ourselves more. So we don't have that.
Apparently, I have a lot to say. I hope I didn't talk over what you had planned. But thank you for this opportunity.
I already told you before we started, if it was like, you know, we just go with the flow because it's alive, and that's the beauty of it. So thank you for joining, Caroline, Amy, everybody that was on Facebook, and have a great one.
Okay, we'll do it again. See you next time.
We will.